Have you felt it, that quiet, almost invisible presence? Someone keeping their eyes on you, waiting. Not out of love, not nostalgia, but an obsession you can sense deep in your bones. It's subtle, the kind of energy that makes your chest tighten for no reason, the moments when a name keeps popping up or a memory you thought was gone resurfaces. You're not imagining it, Aquarius. Your intuition has been whispering the truth, and today, we're finally naming it. If you've ever felt someone linger in the shadows of your life, I want you to pause for a second, take a breath, and comment below, knowing you're about to uncover something you've been sensing all along. And what's about to unfold might just change everything you thought you knew. Have you noticed it, Aquarius? That quiet weight in the back of your mind. That subtle awareness that someone somewhere has been watching, waiting, lingering just outside the frame of your daily life. It isn't obvious, and it isn't urgent, yet it hums in the corners of your awareness like a distant tide pulling at the shore. Perhaps it was a text at an odd hour, a name appearing when you didn't expect it, or the familiar energy of someone from the past brushing against your consciousness when you were least prepared. You might have brushed it off at first, telling yourself it's just coincidence. But that feeling, it never quite leaves, does it? There's a reason your intuition is tugging at you so persistently, and it is not to frighten you. It is to awaken you. In these quiet, unassuming moments, your senses are sharper than you often give them credit for. You feel things before they are spoken, see through layers of intention that others think are invisible. That lingering unease, that tiny prickle at the base of your neck, it is your own awareness speaking to you. It is the voice of someone who knows their own worth, who has been tested by life and is learning to trust their own cosmic compass. Do you remember the last time you dismissed that voice and felt the ripple afterward, the tiny shiver that whispered, "You should have listened"? It is different now. You are learning to honor it. The truth is, Aquarius, there is an energy that recognizes your light and cannot help but orbit it silently, often without words, sometimes without intention even. Yet, its presence is felt, like the shadow of a familiar constellation stretching across a night sky you thought was empty. It does not define you, and it cannot hold you, but it reminds you of your own vigilance, of your own power to discern what belongs in your life and what does not. Have you noticed how even the softest awareness, the briefest moment of acknowledgement, can illuminate what was hidden? There is something profoundly human in this, being aware without being consumed, observing without being drawn in. Perhaps a notification, a random memory, a glance from someone who once mattered, reminds you that life moves in layers, unseen currents flowing beneath the surface of ordinary days. You recognize these currents now, Aquarius, not as threats, but as signals. They are invitations to pause, to consider, to honor your own rhythm, your own sense of what feels right. How often do we allow ourselves to sense deeply without rushing to action, to sit with the quiet knowing and trust it, rather than explain it away? And as you sit with that awareness, there is a subtle shift, a gentle illumination hinting that the world around you is not always as empty as it seems, and that your own presence casts longer shadows than you might imagine. This is not about fear, nor about restriction. It is about connection with your own clarity, the kind that allows you to move gracefully through interactions, to hold your boundaries without aggression, and to notice patterns before they solidify into challenges. Take a moment, Aquarius, and notice your breath. Feel the subtle energy of someone paying attention to you, not in malice, not in possession, but because your essence resonates beyond your immediate perception. How does it feel to know that your intuition is the truest guide you have, and that even unseen attention cannot sway your center? And as you reflect, consider this in the quiet places between your thoughts. What might you discover if you allowed yourself to truly observe, without judgment, without expectation, but with gentle curiosity? There is a story forming there, waiting for your awareness to step into it, waiting for your light to illuminate truths not yet spoken. You might begin to notice patterns that were invisible before, Aquarius, tiny threads connecting moments that once felt random. That text that arrived just after midnight, that message on social media that made you pause for a heartbeat longer than usual, or the familiar energy of someone who once walked beside you in life, but is no longer meant to be near. It isn't always an old lover, not always someone whose heart still reaches for yours. Sometimes it is a friend from a chapter that closed too abruptly, someone who envied your light, someone who carried a quiet grudge or a subtle longing you never realized. They move like shadows, blending into the background, their presence subtle yet persistent. Have you felt that weight before? The sense that they are aware of your every step, even from a distance. It is a curious, almost hypnotic energy, this kind of attention. They do not always speak, and they may not even attempt to touch your life directly, yet they are attuned to it in ways that are both meticulous and unsettling. Their eyes, whether physical or imagined, seem to linger longer than they should, their curiosity weaving through your world quietly, persistently. They might watch the images you post, observe the rhythm of your days, ask your friends casual questions that carry more weight than words alone. Sometimes it feels like a subtle measuring of who you are now, who you have become, a reflection of what they once were unable to grasp. And you, Aquarius, sense it not with fear, but with awareness. There is a strange intimacy to it, though not a comforting one. It is the intimacy of observation without connection, of attention that is not mutual, of care twisted into an echo of desire or comparison. They track, they watch, they compare themselves to the life you are building, perhaps wondering why the energy that once belonged to both of you now belongs solely to you. And in that quiet noticing, you begin to see clearly the ways in which such relationships were not built to support your growth. Did you ever pause and feel the subtle tension that arises when admiration turns into envy, when curiosity becomes compulsion? Recognizing it now, you begin to reclaim your boundaries, Aquarius. You see that this attention, though silent, is a reflection of a world that cannot reach your center, a world that has not learned to honor your autonomy. Their gaze, their questions, their careful, almost obsessive tracking of your life is theirs to carry. You no longer need to carry it for them, nor carry the weight of what they cannot release. There is freedom in knowing that attention, even when persistent, is not power, it is observation, and observation does not define you. Think of it like a constellation seen from afar, twinkling in the night sky. Its light reaches you, yes, but it cannot alter your orbit. They may linger in the distance, their awareness tracing your movements, yet you continue on your trajectory luminous and unbound. You may even find that you are learning to enjoy the contrast, to see the energy of the world around you as a mirror rather than a chain, to recognize the difference between those who nurture your growth and those who simply echo their own longing. And here is something to consider, quietly, softly, as you breathe. If someone is watching you so closely, does that attention reflect more about them than about you? Could their persistence, their subtle obsession, be a guidepost, showing you exactly where your freedom shines most brightly? There is wisdom in noticing, Aquarius, and a gentle power in allowing it to inform your steps without entangling your heart. In this awareness, you are learning the art of seeing clearly, of understanding who belongs in your orbit and who exists only as a shadow in the light you carry. Have you noticed how some energies linger long after a chapter closes, Aquarius, almost as if they refuse to release their grip on what they once touched? There is a subtle insistence in the way some people follow our journey, a quiet conviction that the space you carve out for yourself still somehow belongs to them. It is not about affection or connection. Not in the way your heart understands as love. No, this is something different. It is the pull of possession of a mind that cannot reconcile freedom with desire, that cannot accept that your path may no longer intersect with theirs. And they remember so vividly the moments when you allowed them, when your trust opened, when your heart felt more pliable than it does now. You may feel it in small ways at first, Aquarius, like a shift in energy when someone reaches out, almost casually, with words that hint at the familiarity they long for, the intimacy they wish to reclaim. Perhaps they mention things you shared long ago, stories you had let go, or achievements that now define your independence. Their attention is calculated, woven with subtle reminders of times when influence was easier, when the tides of your emotions were more predictable. It is almost an art form, this quiet attempt to draw you back into old patterns, and yet it is also a reflection of something profoundly human: the fear of losing control, the resistance to witnessing another grow beyond the boundaries they once imagined. And in that, Aquarius, you can see the difference between genuine care and the echo of obsession. You can sense that this is not about admiration, nor longing, nor the soft ache of missing someone. It is about attachment, about wanting to reclaim a feeling of dominance, a sense of being needed, a comfort in the illusion of power over another's life. They chart the path of your heart as if it were theirs to navigate, and in doing so, they reveal the limitations of their own understanding of freedom, the depth of their own insecurities projected outward. Yet there is beauty in your awareness. You feel it quietly, without fear. You recognize the strategies and the emotional currents, the careful nudges and the seemingly innocent queries that are not innocent at all. You see the ways in which attachment can become obsession, and obsession can masquerade as care. And knowing this, Aquarius, you begin to hold your center with grace, to step into the knowledge that your heart, your energy, your life are not commodities to be reclaimed, but gifts to be nurtured and protected. Do you ever wonder, as you witness these patterns, how often our clarity is the true mirror for another's illusions. That their insistence, their covert attempts at influence, are reflections of their own inability to release, rather than reflections of any deficiency within you. There is freedom in this realization, Aquarius, a quiet liberation that comes from observing without engaging, from honoring your boundaries without guilt, and from recognizing that love, when genuine, does not seek to tether or control. And as you hold that truth softly, like a lantern illuminating the darkened corners of memory, you might notice a lightness in your chest, a space opening where worry once resided. Here, in this gentle awareness, you learn that the world may attempt to impose its shadows, but your presence, your clarity, your choice to remain unclaimed, is the truest form of healing. You are the guardian of your own peace, and in this knowing, you begin to see the subtle art of walking free, of letting the currents move without fear, without reaction, without surrender. Sometimes, Aquarius, they appear when you least expect it. A message that seems harmless at first, arriving in the quiet moments when your thoughts wander. A memory dredged up and framed in gentle words, as though the past itself has returned to speak to you. Perhaps it is a sudden apology, artfully constructed, a reflection of moments that once mattered, designed to stir something familiar deep inside. And in those fleeting seconds you can feel the old pull, the echo of a connection you thought had settled into stillness, whispering that perhaps the chapter is not fully closed. But you know better, don't you? You know that what feels familiar is not always what is right, and that nostalgia can be a subtle thread that pulls you back into a pattern you've already outgrown. There is an art to it, the way someone who cannot let go will weave memories into the present, creating bridges to old emotions. They rely on your empathy, your generosity, your innate ability to feel deeply, to reconnect through shared laughter, through recollections of moments that were once tender. And even as you smile at the remembrance, there is a quiet warning, almost imperceptible, that not every return is an offer, that some are carefully set traps, subtle tests of whether you will allow your past to overwrite your progress. Have you ever noticed how the mind can become a stage for memories to play, Aquarius, how it can create illusions that feel more real than the present? That is what they are counting on, the spaces in your heart that still remember, the tenderness that has not hardened, the willingness to believe in second chances. It is not about love, it is about reigniting a loop of influence, a gentle tug disguised as longing, a carefully curated echo that tempts you to step back into their orbit. And yet, you carry the wisdom to notice the difference, to sense when attention is offered with openness, and when it is wielded as a tool. This is why awareness is your true ally. Each unexpected message, each casual reminder, is an opportunity to observe, to pause, to consider what belongs in your life and what exists only as a reflection of someone else's attachment. You may feel a flicker of old emotions, a shadow of curiosity or longing, and that is natural. But you also feel the clarity rising, the soft but unwavering recognition that your energy is precious, and that no memory, no crafted word, can reclaim it without your consent. Sometimes the manipulation is gentle, almost imperceptible, yet persistent, a soft tug, a nostalgic reminder, an echo from a time when boundaries were not yet fully defined. And in observing this, you practice the quiet art of discernment, the subtle power of choosing where your attention goes, of protecting the rhythms you've carefully built. You realize that freedom is not about isolation. It is about knowing when to allow what nourishes in, and when to turn away from what seeks only to bind. And here is a gentle question for you to ponder. Aquarius, when the past calls in ways that feel almost irresistible, is it truly reaching you, or is it simply asking for your recognition so it can continue to exist in your space? There is magic in noticing the difference, in naming the intention behind the echo, and in allowing your own growth to remain untethered. That subtle awareness, soft yet unyielding, is your compass through these tides, guiding you gently but firmly toward the life that is wholly yours. Do you feel it, Aquarius? That subtle ripple in the universe, almost like a soft vibration, noticing how your energy has shifted. It is not something loud or overt, it is in the quiet confidence that now radiates from you. Your life hums with a rhythm that is wholly yours, a melody of freedom that dances through your days without apology or hesitation. They notice it too. The way your steps are lighter, the laughter that spills so easily, the moments of stillness that are filled not with longing, but with contentment. And perhaps that is why there is a quiet unease on their end, a recognition that you have begun to move beyond the reach of old attachments, that you are no longer the person who bends and sways at the tides of their will. You are crafting a life, Aquarius, in ways that feel intentional and healing. Your mornings might start with sunlight spilling across a room you have made entirely your own, a space curated for inspiration, for reflection, for dreaming without interruption. There is a project on your desk, perhaps a vision that has been simmering quietly within your mind, ready to take form. You plan, you sketch, you imagine, and each step you take carries a sense of purpose that is magnetic, not just to the world but to the energies that linger nearby. They notice the focus, the way your hands shape ideas into reality, and it unsettles them not because of malice, but because control feels impossible in the presence of someone who is fully awake. There are journeys ahead, Aquarius, some literal, some symbolic. You may be preparing for a trip, a move, a shift in environment that aligns more with your truth than with anyone else's expectations. Perhaps it is a new home, a different city, or simply a change in the rhythm of your day's morning routine that nourishes your body, a practice that centers your mind. And in these moments, you inhabit your own frequency so fully that the echoes of old obsessions cannot reach you. They sense the change, the momentum that cannot be influenced, and that awareness stirs a subtle anxiety in them. It is a remarkable thing to witness, this quiet impact you have, Aquarius. Your stability, your independence, your clarity, they act as mirrors reflecting the contrast between someone who has grown and someone still tethered to patterns of control. And in observing this, you do not gloat, nor seek to punish. You simply exist in the fullness of your freedom, allowing your life to become the demonstration of what is possible when boundaries are honored and energy is respected. So perhaps the question lingers softly in the back of your mind. Aquarius, how often does the simple act of living your truth unsettle those who cannot release the past? How much power there is in showing up fully for yourself, unencumbered by anyone else's expectations, letting your life be an example of peace, joy, and forward motion. Each step you take, each decision you make, is a gentle act of reclamation, and it inspires others even quietly to consider the beauty of their own freedom. You may not even realize it, but every smile, every project you nurture, every horizon you reach toward, sends ripples across the invisible spaces of influence. And those ripples, Aquarius, remind you that your light is not only uncontainable, it is transformative. A subtle, cosmic message, the life you build for yourself can heal not only your own heart, but also serve as a compass for those still learning to find their way. Aquarius, can you feel the subtle tension that sometimes drifts across the spaces you thought were quiet? It's not immediate, not always loud, but the ripple is there, a shadow of energy that flinches whenever your presence shines a little brighter, whenever your life hums in alignment with your own truth. And they notice. Not because of genuine care, but because the reflection of your freedom unsettles what they once believed was theirs to influence. You may see the whispers in group chats, the casual questions dropped through mutual friends, the comparisons they make in the silent corners of their mind. It's almost theatrical the way they try to orchestrate drama, a performance meant to pull your gaze, to test the limits of your calm. Yet you, Aquarius, have learned the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You recognize the difference between the pull of fascination and the grasp of obsession. They might attempt to cloak jealousy as concern, to disguise control as longing, sending messages steeped in nostalgia, laced with charm, and yet you feel the emptiness behind the words. That longing is not for connection, it is for possession, for the illusion of authority over a life that has already chosen its own path. And in knowing this, you gain a quiet clarity. You see the strings, and they no longer manipulate you, because you are attuned to the subtle dance between energy and intention. There will be moments when their attempts rise like a tide, comparing, seducing, reminding you of shared histories as if those moments could anchor you to the past. And sometimes it stings, Aquarius. Sometimes you feel the ghost of what was trying to whisper doubt, to make you wonder if the safety you've built could be fractured. But remember, the allure is not love, it is fear of losing control. Fear is messy, it's loud, and it masquerades as longing. You've grown beyond that pattern. You've seen it clearly. You no longer drift into the undertow because you know how to read the currents before they sweep you. Think of it this way: they may try to tempt, to charm, to trigger old emotions that once had power over you, but your energy now acts like sunlight filtering through trees, penetrating and warm, yet impossible to capture. You carry the kind of peace that quietly redirects attention without confrontation. You can witness the attempts, acknowledge the feelings they stir, and let them pass, leaving no room for the pull to anchor your soul. So ask yourself gently, Aquarius, how does it feel to watch someone struggle to grasp what they cannot control? To observe the way your life flows in harmony while there's ripples with uncertainty. There is a profound lesson here in noticing the contrast, seeing the difference between attachment and freedom, obsession and serenity, and allowing that observation to guide your own next steps. You are learning to hold your center even as the world around you pulses with old patterns. And in that stillness, in that awareness, you cultivate a resilience that is magnetic. Your boundaries are no longer lines in sand, they are constellations in the sky, glowing in the cosmic rhythm of your own heart. Every attempt to unsettle you is met with a gentle recognition you are not theirs and you never will be. And in that knowing, you are free. Aquarius, there comes a moment when the world's noise seems to fade, and all that remains is the rhythm of your own heartbeat, steady, unshaken, glowing with quiet certainty. You begin to notice how much power lies in simply choosing what you expose, what you withhold, and how you allow your energy to flow. There is a freedom in discretion, a gentle, cosmic reminder that not everything requires your explanation. You carry your plans close, like seeds tucked into the earth, waiting for the right time to blossom, and in this silence, your strength multiplies. You feel it in the way your gaze rests on your own horizon, noticing details of your life that once went unnoticed. Each step you take is deliberate, measured, grounded in the understanding that peace is not given, it is claimed. You've learned that the world's attempts to unsettle you, the invisible hands tugging at the edges of your boundaries, only work if you allow them. And you do not. You smile quietly, knowing that your calm is your shield, your autonomy, your cosmic signature that no one can replicate. In these moments, you understand that your energy is magnetic not because it seeks attention, but because it is authentic, undisturbed, flowing from the core of who you truly are. You do not need to broadcast your intentions, the universe already sees them, and those meant to witness your growth will do so naturally. You focus inward, tending to your own garden of creativity, joy, and clarity, nurturing what nourishes your soul. The rest, the gossip, the curiosity, the attempts to measure themselves against you, simply drifts past, powerless to penetrate the sanctuary you've built. Think of it, Aquarius, there is a kind of sovereignty in holding your own light without needing to justify it. Every project you undertake, every journey you prepare for, every quiet decision to honor your well-being becomes a declaration of self-possession. You are not reactive, you are proactive, and that difference is palpable. It ripples through your relationships, through the subtle energies around you, and even those who once tried to control or manipulate feel the shift. They notice, and they may panic, but their panic is a reflection of your stability, not a threat to it. And in that reflection, you find a gentle truth. True empowerment is not in proving anything to anyone. It is in embodying the life you are meant to live, in keeping your intentions sacred, and in moving through the world with a quiet but unshakable authority. Your boundaries are stars in the night sky, luminous and unwavering, guiding your path and signaling to others that your energy is not theirs to claim. So I ask you softly, Aquarius, how does it feel to recognize that the power you've been seeking was never out there, but always within you, waiting to be claimed, nurtured, and expressed in your own beautiful rhythm? In this knowing, you step fully into your sovereignty, carrying peace, clarity, and cosmic strength with every breath. Aquarius, take a deep breath and feel the subtle shift in the air around you. There is a quiet clarity settling into your bones, a gentle knowing that the old echoes, those lingering whispers of curiosity, jealousy, and unfinished stories no longer hold dominion over your life. You notice the space around you, once dense with tension, now stretching wide with possibility, and in this openness, your energy hums freely, unclaimed, unapologetic, radiating a light that cannot be dimmed. You realize, softly but firmly, that they no longer have access not to your thoughts, not to your heart, not to the flow of your days. And in this awareness, Aquarius, there is liberation. The world feels sharper, more vibrant, as if each moment has been tuned to a higher frequency that resonates with your truth. You can step forward without hesitation, knowing that the life you are shaping is untethered from old expectations, untangled from manipulations, and fully aligned with who you are meant to be. This is the moment to honor your boundaries, to hold your energy close, to share it selectively, and only with what nourishes your spirit. You notice the small shifts limiting interactions, stepping away from conversations that drain, reframing your social media so it reflects growth and inspiration rather than temptation or comparison. Each choice is an act of self-respect, a soft yet profound declaration that your life is yours to live fully, richly, without apology. And as you move through your days, Aquarius, you sense a transformation in the way you navigate the world. Your mornings carry the quiet intention of personal projects, the excitement of new journeys, the gentle thrill of independence rediscovered. There is room for creativity, for laughter, for the deep connections that feed your soul without tethering it. Every decision, every moment of mindful attention, becomes a thread weaving the tapestry of your empowered life. You may notice, too, that the old energies around you begin to fade, as if the universe itself recognizes your boundaries and respects your rhythm. People who once tried to pull strings or stir discontent now exist at a distance that preserves your serenity, while your own frequency rises, clear and unwavering. You are free to nurture your mind, your heart, and the spaces you inhabit, fully aware that your power is in living authentically, not in proving anything. And so, Aquarius, I ask you gently, can you feel the weight lifting, the quiet strength settling into your bones, and the pulse of possibility calling you forward? There is a new rhythm awaiting you, a life of freedom, clarity, and empowerment. In this sacred space, you step into your next chapter fully, with peace, with joy, and with the radiant certainty that your energy belongs only to you. This is your season to shine without restraint, to live without fear, and to trust entirely in the light you carry. Aquarius, as we reach this quiet pause together, let yourself feel the weight of all that has shifted. There's a soft stillness now, a calm that hums in your chest, reminding you that every intuition, every quiet nudge, has led you exactly here to this moment of clarity, of freedom, of knowing. It's a gentle surprise, isn't it? To discover that the very energies that once pulled at you, that once seemed so pressing, are now simply whispers, echoes that no longer define your rhythm. Can you sense the subtle strength in that? The kind that isn't loud or forceful, but steady, deep, like the river flowing beneath winter ice, quiet, unyielding, and entirely your own. Aquarius, this is the magic of trusting yourself, of honoring every boundary you've set, every step you've taken with intention. There's a real beauty in knowing that your energy belongs to you, that your choices create the space where your life can breathe, expand, and glow with possibility. And yet, the surprise is not just in freedom, but in the revelation of how much you are truly seen, how much I resonate with the world that feels newly attuned to your heart. The people, the opportunities, the moments that align with your soul, they're all waiting for you to claim them. And as you step forward, do so with the gentle confidence of one who knows your life is your own canvas, vibrant with your colors, your rhythm, your light. I invite you to pause for a breath now, Aquarius, and really feel it. Feel the safety in your boundaries, the warmth of your growth, the spark of curiosity that still dances in your mind. Let yourself smile at the thought that you've survived, thrived, and healed beyond what you imagined. And as you feel this, consider sharing it, maybe a thought in the comments, a reflection, a question for someone else who might need to hear that same reassurance today. Because the truth is, this isn't the end of the journey. Not at all. It's the threshold. And from here, the path unfolds, filled with whispers of wisdom, new messages, and deeper connections. The next moment, the next insight, the next wave of energy, they're already arriving, quietly, perfectly timed for you. Trust that, Aquarius. Trust yourself. Trust the rhythm of the universe that moves in harmony with the truth you carry inside. So as you carry this sense of liberation, let it ripple outward. Let it remind you that healing is ongoing, that freedom is lived in daily choices, and that every small action, every kind word, every boundary held, every project pursued echoes with power. And if you feel called, stay here, stay connected, subscribe, share, and return when the next message comes. For now, bask in this quiet certainty, this gentle knowing that your life is yours, vibrant, unbroken, and endlessly luminous. Remember, Aquarius, you are not alone. The community of hearts that understand you, that honor this unique frequency of yours, is here. And the journey continues, inviting you to step forward, to shine, and to trust the incredible force that is you.